Hey everyone, it's your girl Taylor Jaye.
Hey, what up, LOTv? It's your boy MobbJustice. We're here, Johannesburg, as per usual, and today we're happy to be in the presence of a very talented young lady. We have Miss Taylor Jaye, all the way from Namibia, hailing from Africa, operating in Africa and the world, here with us. And we're just going to be getting to know a little bit about her, what her story is, where she came from, what inspires her, and what drives her to keep carrying on and wanting to be great. How are you, Taylor?
I'm good, how are you?
No, I'm alive. I'm well.
What's up? It's your girl Taylor Jaye. Yeah. The Namibian super chiquita. Okay, guys, I come from Namibia. They call me super chiquita, you know what I'm saying? I'm based in SA. I am an Afro-pop, dancehall, hip-hop artist. I know, it's a lot to handle, but I gotta do it. I got to do it. Okay, no, let me stop playing. Yeah, so I've been an artist now professionally for 2.5 years. I'm based in South Africa. I run my own label. It's called Jay's World Entertainment. And I'm part of my squad called Super Cool Kids. Yes, we're a squad of entertainers. Some of us rap, some of us sing, some of us are videographers, all things, you know what I mean? Something interesting about me, I'm a nerd. I'm an engineer, so I like nerdy things. I like comic books. In my spare time, I like to read comic books, I watch TV, and that's about it.
I think just as a way for us to begin, I understand that you're in Nigeria.
Yeah.
How much time do you actually spend like on the road, traveling, meeting new people?
I actually spend a lot of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't know if you know, Nigeria has a lot of traffic.
Yeah.
So you do spend a lot of time on the road getting from one place to the next.
Yeah.
But I did meet a lot of people. People are really nice. The media is dope. Like I was really like shocked.
Yeah.
The reception I got coming from the south, I was like, yo, these people actually love us out here. You know what I mean? So shout out to Nigeria, man. Shout out.
So another way to also enter this conversation is the fact that you are from Namibia and you're now operating in South Africa. For those of us who aren't quite as familiar, because I know I'm not alone in this, what is the Namibian scene like in terms of music? Because I think because we're all consuming, most of us consume things like DSTV, your MTV, you're very familiar with South Africa, how it operates, the West, Europe, all of that stuff. But what's going on in Namibia?
Well, our music scene is there, but we're only 2 million people. So the existing music scene, the reason why countries outside it don't know about it that much is because there's not that many people pushing it outside.
Yeah.
Most of our artists, actually all of our artists, actually just based in Namibia. Their music is distributed primarily only in Namibia. But we do have an industry. We have like one of the best music awards on the continent. You know, huge prizes. It's one of the biggest highlights of the year. And we've got big artists that have worked with people like Davido and so forth in our country as well. Yeah.
And in that same strain, I've noticed that you are very proud of your language. You said it's Damara, right? Yes, I'm glad. You sing in that language, and someone would then ask, why do you sing in that language if you're trying to appeal to a greater audience?
Well, when I did my EP was actually 95% English, and I only had one song in Damara on that. And I was shocked to find that so many people responded to that song, you know. And before that, I didn't actually consider singing my language because I was like, who outside Namibia knows my language? You know what I mean? But then I started thinking and I was like, actually, that is what makes me unique. You know what I mean? My language makes me unique. It is who I am. You know, yes, I can do a song in English as well, but let me stick to who I am. If you find a house South African artist, they're singing in Zulu, you know, they're singing in Xhosa, whatever, you know what I mean? You find a West African artist, they're doing pidgin, they're doing their native languages, you know what I mean? We don't understand it, but we love the music, you know? At the end of the day, it's all about the music. So I was like, you know what, it won't matter whether people can understand me or not, as long as they love the music, you know, and as long as I remain true to myself.
So do you find that now people are more interested in Damara when they talk to you? Do you find people coming up to you and asking, what does this mean? How do I pronounce this?
Yeah, they do. I'm not gonna lie, my language is very unique. It's very, very unique, but I love it. I love it because of that. People do walk up to me. First of all, they ask, am I even black to be speaking a language like that? So they're like, wait a minute, I thought you were something else, let alone you're speaking like a pure black language. And I'm like, yeah. So it's interesting, you know, I'm always getting asked, like even presenters will always be asking me to pronounce it, what does this mean, and blah, blah, blah. But I think that's cool though. It's intriguing.
And on that same tip, your latest single, how do you pronounce the name of your latest single?
Kadzere.
I'll get it. I'll
It's
get
Kadzere.
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 Yes. It's here.
Yeah.
And what does it mean, and what's that single about?
It means touch me. So Kadzere means touch me. But the song, if you listen to the lyrics, I'm actually saying, you know when you're on the dance floor and you feel like you're too hot to touch? Yeah, so it's a thing of like, come try me. Like, so I'm not necessarily telling you just come touch me. I'm saying like, you can't touch this, you know, try and touch this, you know, like I'm so hot, you can't touch this, you know what I mean? Like that's how I'm just kind of like playing back and forth with the word. My new single is out right now. It's called Kadzere. It means da di da ko, da di da ko, da di da ko, da di da ko. Yeah, it means I'm too hot to touch. So if you're on the dance floor, you're feeling yourself, tell the nigga like, I'm too hot to touch, I beg. You know what I mean? So that's my new single. It features Uhuru and DJ Clap. I'm very excited about it. And gonna be shooting a music video for it soon. But you can catch my latest video for How right now. It's on TV, everywhere. Really digging that. It's a dance song, it's a dance anthem. Obviously Uhuru produced it. And I just wanted a fun dance song. You know, nothing too hectic, nothing too deep about it. You know, it's just literally a dance song where I'm like the boss, like I'm like the hotness on the dance floor. Yeah.
Have you worked with Namibian producers?
Yes. Yeah. Shout out to KVNO, Sakura Production Studios.
What makes someone worthy? Should I use the word worthy? But what draws you to someone's particular style for you to decide, I'm gonna have this person with me on a song, or I'm going to jump on a particular song, or I'm going to have a particular producer coming in to do beats for me?
Well, the first thing is patience. Do you have patience? No, I'm just lying. No, but for me to work with a producer, he needs to be a patient person. No, first I check like your versatility. How versatile are you? Because I like to experiment. I'm one of those artists that will never walk into a studio and be like, okay, today I'm just doing hip-hop, you know, today we just have to do this, you know. I'll never be the type of artist because I'm a very versatile artist. So I like to go in with a producer that's okay with trying new things, you know, and it's not so rigid on, okay, no, we have to do it like this, it must be like this, you know. Like, let's mess around in the studio and see what we come up with, you know. Yeah.
So what's the creative process with you like? Because earlier on, off air, I did ask what you spend your time doing, and you let me know that you're usually writing songs when you're by yourself and that type of thing. So what's your process like in terms of a song, in terms of, I guess, getting the producer, getting certain beat makers, you writing a song, all of that stuff? How does that stuff usually come together for you?
Well, it kind of depends. Sometimes I will write a song ahead of time and bring it to a producer for him to obviously make the backing melody at the beat for me to record it. Sometimes I like to sit down with the producer and actually start from scratch as he's working on the beat. You know, we're not really knowing where we're going with this, you know, we're just kind of working on it, and then I'll end up writing to it throughout the day. I love to write in my car as well, you know, when I'm driving around. It's very peaceful. Like, I don't know, when I'm in the car and I'm driving, it's like everything else is blocked out. So I just generally come up with like the best hooks and stuff. Like, I can say like 90% of my hooks I've written in my car, you know. I do co-write with Rapboi Trizzy and with Chilla, and we will write individually or we'll come together and write together. So it just depends. There's no like rigid process like, oh, it has to be like this, you know. We just kind of go with the flow, you know.
So you heard it. If you've been singing in the shower, you need to stop that. You You need to get into your car, you need to, you know, go for a drive, and you need to write. But anyway, what do you actually like to work with? I don't know if that's an appropriate question for you, but how do you think you are to work with in the studio?
Okay, I think with producers I've worked with, all of them say that I'm very hands-on.
Okay.
Yeah, they're like, you're very particular. And I'm one of those artists, I'm not afraid to say, I don't want this, you know? Because I'm not trying to like hurt anyone's feelings or anything, but it's that thing of, if I'm putting out this product, I have to like every bit of it, you know? So I'm very anal in that regard. I know it can be annoying sometimes. I know some of my good producer friends are like, Jay, stop it. There's no such thing as perfection, you know? But I like to chase perfection in the studio. And I'm very hands-on, and I will work until I feel like something sounds perfect. Yeah.
What's the most takes you've ever done for, I don't know, a hook or something like that?
Oh, child. Let me just say, I don't know what's the most takes. I can say what's the hardest song to record. What's the hardest song to record? It was definitely... Actually, even Kadzere was actually difficult to record because I recorded it twice. Yeah. I did it fully, completed it, left studio. A week later, came back. I said, scratch it all. I removed everything, and started from again, like from the top again. I was like, I can do better. Yeah.
Does it actually sound different?
Yeah. Like I completely rewrote the entire song.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Everything, the hook, everything, removed everything and just started again. Yeah.
Because you know sometimes when creatives are at work, the end result doesn't seem different for the layman.
I know.
It's usually only the creative who can be like, no guys, there's that nuance over
But the thing is, music is an emotion. Like it's like, as an artist, you have to have some kind of attachment to the song. Yeah. If you don't have that attachment when you record it, then it's not worth putting out. It's not something that people should listen to, you know? Because at the end of the day, you can't defend it if you don't have any kind of passion towards it. Yeah. Yes. I've had many embarrassing moments on stage, but you do know the show must go on. I generally have this thing where while I'm performing, I have drunk people always come on stage and try and like push me off stage, or try and grab the mic, or try and give me alcohol to drink while I'm on stage. That happened to me recently. A guy came on stage and tried to force whiskey down my throat. And obviously, because I'm an artist, I have to play it cool, you know. Hey, pretend like I drank the drink, although I didn't, you know what I mean? So it was pretty like hella funny. I've had some weird other things happen to me too. Yeah.
It's deep, aren't you? It's really deep. Switching over to the music industry now, because I actually first heard about Taylor Jaye. She was conducting a workshop at a school and talking about the music industry and all of that stuff, and she was talking about how she's independent. So I wanted to actually find out from her, what's it like being an independent artist in Africa today? Because I think a lot of people are chasing the big stables, the big studios, the big producers, etc. But you've decided to sort of go it at your own. How has that process been? I understand it's been, you said 2 years, I think? Yeah. Yeah, about 2 years. How's that process been? Do you still want to continue? Or are you ready to fold now?
Well, what people don't know is I was signed before I went independent. I was with a hip-hop label called Southwest. And I left because I wanted creative control. And I wanted to be able to make my own decisions, because I felt like I was constantly waiting for someone to tell me, okay, you can do this now. You can shoot a video now. You can do this now, you know? And I was like, okay, I can't do anything. I can't decide what songs I want to do. I can't do anything right now. So let me right now just push myself, you know? Let me invest my own money. It's going to take time, because obviously you have to, as an independent artist, you have to raise funds, you know, you have to seek investments, you have to seek sponsorships in order to do anything you want to do, basically. So it's not easy, you get, but I do know the end result will be worth it, you know. Not to say that artists that are signed shouldn't be signed, you know. Each their own. You all know what battle you can handle, you know what I mean. To the artists that are independent and making it, they know what they had to go through, you know what I mean. The artists that are signed and have made it, they know what they chose. For me, being independent, I know what I've chosen. I know my support structure, and I know the daily hurdles that I have to go through, that I have to personally deal with in order to be independent. If the time comes where I'm like, you know what, I can't do this anymore, I need to sign, then I'll have to go sign. But I do feel like if at any point right now as an independent artist I choose to sign, I'll have room to negotiate because I already have a profile. You know, I've already built a company. You know, I've already put in some of the work that's needed, you know, to show that, you know what, I am a serious artist. So you can't just come at me and be like, oh, here's any contract, just sign it, you know? Yeah.
And what type of team do you have around you? Because I think when you especially when you're doing things by yourself, you need to pick the people that you work with very carefully. And you need to trust them as well.
Yeah.
So who do you have, and how has been that process of getting the right people around you?
Well, my team is the super cool kids. Shout out to the super cool kids. So my team is between SA and Namibia.
Yeah.
So Super Cool Kids is a squad. It's basically me and my family members that are in entertainment.
Yeah.
We came together and we're like, you know what? We all want to do something in entertainment, whether it be music, photography, videography, production, whatever, you know what I mean? And we're like, why don't we just work together as a group? You know what I mean? Push each other. We have our strengths, we have our weaknesses, and that's how we, you know, support each other, basically. Yeah. So back home, for example, I own a studio, Support Production Studios. So most of my production, everything is done there. When if I record, wherever I record, if I record here, everything gets sent. Yeah, that's where everything gets finalized. Also with videography, you know what I mean? Sometimes I do work with outside videographers, but I've also worked with my team, you know. And my team here is also people that have taken time to gravitate towards me.
Yeah.
But I feel like I didn't have to go out looking for these people. I feel like God brought them to me. Like God brought them to me and we just clicked. You know what I mean? We clicked and we formed a unity, we formed trust, you know what I mean? And I'm very, very thankful that these are people that like linger around me and are willing to put up with me on a daily basis. And my number one structure is my mom. Yeah.
Shout out.
Yeah. Mama J. Sorry. I look like I'm gonna cry because the wind is actually blowing my eye right now.
It's okay.
I'm not crying, guys.
It's okay.
I'm not crying, guys.
Okay. She's a G.
I am an OG. No, my mom is also part of my team. She's my business manager.
Yeah.
And people ask me, why do you want your mom involved? I'm like, that's one person that no matter what I do, will always keep it real with me. With my business decisions, any contracts, anything I do, it has to run through her. You know, she has to see what's happening. And she also guides me, like, okay, don't take this, don't sign this, do this, do this. You know what I mean? She helps me with getting my investments, she helps me getting my sponsorships. So she's always like that person that's always speaking, you know, that you need to listen to, you know what I mean? Even if you don't sometimes like what she has to say, you know, but you know she's always going to have your best interest at heart. Yeah.
I like the fact that we've brought in the family factor, because I think just by virtue of being black, being African, there's a lot of emphasis that's placed on education, and to be honest, in a lot of places, a lot of families don't value or put value on creativity. But it sounds like you've been able to get that support from your family.
It wasn't easy.
Yeah.
We had to prove ourselves. We had to, all my cousins, we had to prove ourselves.
Yeah.
Hey, like, I don't know. The day you met me, I did say that I had to graduate first. It was one of the agreements I had with my mom. Like, okay, I will give you a degree, you know, and then after that, she gave me a year to prove myself. Yeah. So I had to work for it. Same with my cousins. They had to individually also go through their processes with their parents and so forth. And I feel like my mom and the elders of our family, I feel like they like the fact that we're working together, you know. So they feel like, okay, it's not just one of the children
not just one
that's just there, like lingering by themselves. At least they're all in it together and like pushing themselves together. You know what I mean? So no, it's a blessing that our family like supports us. Yeah.
No, I like that very much, because I feel like I said, the black families need to be finding ways to encourage creativity and all of that stuff.
What do I want to be remembered for? Well, I stand for women empowerment. You know, the reason why I did the song Super Chiquita is because I wanted to inspire all women, you know, to go after what it is that they want, you know, grind for yourself, you know, do your own thing, you know. And because I'm the daughter of a single mom, that has always been my biggest driving force as a woman, to push myself, you know. So that's the legacy I want to leave behind. I want to leave behind the fact that I'm a woman, you know, I did my own thing, I pushed myself, and I achieved my goals. you know, on top of the music, everything, you know what I mean? Yes, money and stuff, those things are just there. But at the end of the day, I want to inspire young women, you know, to know that you don't need someone else to come and tell you you gotta do it. You don't need someone to hand everything to you on a silver platter. You don't need a blesser. You don't need none of that. You just need yourself. All you need is yourself. All you gotta do is push yourself. Super Chiquita signing out.
So what did you actually graduate with? And has any of it, is it actually working? Because I know that's always the eternal question that kids ask. This school thing, is it going to help me in real life?
I did graduate as a software engineer.
Yeah.
I started in aeronautical engineering and switched to software. When I graduated, I immediately got a job, but I didn't take it. And
oh wow.
You should have seen my family. My grandma was like, what?
I'm sure there are people watching right now saying, what?
My grandma called my mom and she's like, so you're gonna allow this girl not to take a job that is like a well-paying job straight out of college? But it was a hard decision to make, you know, because I knew if I take this, I won't come back to music. You know what I mean?
Okay,
because it was a job that required me to move, you know, to other African countries. I believe it was Mozambique and Congo. I had to choose. So I decided not to go. And since then, I've done freelance projects. Oh, okay. So I'll do freelance according to my time. Now I hardly have time for it, but I remember the first year after I graduated, I did have time for freelance projects with my fellow graduates. You know, so we would do software projects here and there, apps and there, you know what I mean? People approaching us to do those things. So we were at least making money, you know, from it. So my degree did come in handy. And even now my degree comes in handy. Like I do my websites, things like that, I do myself. You know, I don't have to go to anyone to do it, you know. If I need to do an app, I'll do it myself. I'm not gonna hire anyone to do it. You get, so it does come in handy, you know.
For those of us that are geeking at the moment, what languages do you
I'm a Java programmer.
You're a Java programmer.
All the way.
No. We just have to touch on that.
For all of y'all that don't do Java, sorry.
Upcoming projects. Can we know that there was an EP. Okay, but.
Okay, so everyone's been asking me if it's an album or another EP.
Yeah.
Right now, I am working towards an album.
Yeah.
That's what I've been doing since last year. It's an Afro album, which is very different from my EP. I wanted to play with this African drum sounds because I feel like everywhere in Africa, you've got the Afrobeat sound. You've got the Afro house, you know, you've got the East African sound, you've got the Kuduru house sound. Yeah. You know, it's all based on African drum lines. So my album plays with that. And it will drop this year. I promise. It will drop this year. It will drop this year. Hopefully with a lot more collaborations on it that I am working on, which I don't want to mention. I don't like mentioning collaborations because then people put pressure on you.
Yeah.
It's just like, I was waiting for that song. I said, calm down. You know, calm down. Let it just come naturally. When you hear it, you'll hear it. You know? Yeah.
Speaking of collaborations, do you have any that, you know, sort of dream collaborations that you can say, okay, if I could work with this person, 2017 is made, or my entire life I'm done?
Can it be anyone or just like an African artist?
Both.
Okay.
Actually.
In Africa, Wizkid all the way. All the way. If I get to work with Wizkid, my life is done. You know, it's done. You know what I mean? He's like my favorite artist in Africa, period. Not to say that I don't like the rest. I mean, he's just like #1 for me right now. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. In the world, so many people. I mean, if I sit here and I don't say Beyonce, what will people do?
I understand.
Nah, I'm just playing. I'd like to work with Dr. Dre one day. I really would. I'd like to work with Kendrick. I'm a big Kendrick fan. I'd like to work with Riri. Yeah, shout out to Bad Girl Riri. You know, there's a lot of people. Adele even. Oh my gosh, I love Adele. Yeah, so many people.
Actually, when you mentioned Kendrick Lamar and Dr. Dre, it actually reminded me of something that I saw. And it actually took me back to something you said earlier in the interview. You said you were signed to a hip-hop label.
Yes.
So that means you spit bars.
No, let's not go there. I want to clarify this, okay? I started off as a rapper. When I was 8, I got a Naughty by Nature mixtape. That's when music started for me. My mom brought me a Naughty by Nature mixtape, and I heard hip-hop music for the first time.
Yeah.
And that's when I knew I'm gonna do music, but I was gonna be a rapper. Yeah. So, and I was like a rapper until I went to my first studio.
Yeah.
Then the producer I met, he looked at me, he's like, "You're too pretty to be a rapper. You need to consider singing, you know?" So after that, I was like, I've never actually considered singing. I don't know if I can sing.
Yeah.
Then I started singing. I joined the school choir, you know, like every other musician, and went through the choir route. But I still do rap. I have a squad called the Suko Cool Kids. We dropped actually a single at the beginning of the year. It's called Dashiki, and we will also be dropping a mixtape called The Playground.
The Playground.
Yeah. So I do spit when I'm with them. But I wouldn't call myself a rapper. And I can just spit. No, I'm being serious. People are always like, "Are you gonna call yourself a rapper?" I'm like, no, I just know how to spit. I'm not gonna call myself a rapper.
I'm tempted, but I won't.
No, I can rap though. Let me rap in Damara though. Let me rap. Kore nepa acha, titake akwacha, tui tam onaga koro ngupukupu achas. Kore nepa kausa, kwachaseta ausa, tui tam ngupukupu achas.
Hey, bro. We've already got more than we hoped for. Like, we've spoken to Taylor Jaye. She gave us a freestyle. I think we can go home. But unfortunately, but we do have time for just two more quick questions. First one, because we've been smiling, we've been happy, but in terms of the music industry, being an artist, all of that stuff, what is the hardest thing for you that you wish people understood about being an artist? Because part of the reason why we do this is to let people know what the life of an artist actually is like and is about. What do you feel like is a misconception or is something that you wish people had told you before you got into the business?
Well, the hardest thing initially was dealing with no, but then I got over that. You know, I realized someone telling me no when I'm dropping off music or dropping off a music video or whatever used to be a shock to me. It'd be like, oh my gosh, they hate me, and I had to tell myself, you know what, know that you're different. You know, no does not mean that you can't push forward. Another thing I wish I knew was how difficult it is to distribute your music. Not digitally, not getting your music. It's easy to get your music on iTunes and stuff like that. You know, that's these days.
Like actual CDs or
like
shows.
Actually just getting your music on radio, getting your music in the hands of DJs, getting your music in the hands of the people that need to play it, you know, for the masses to hear it. You know, that is a very, very difficult thing, especially if you're independent. So if you're an independent artist, that is something you do need to always keep in mind, that distributing your music to radios, distributing to DJs, that is always going to be a challenge, you know, and it takes time to build a network to get to that point where you can release something and instantly everyone has it, you know what I mean? So that, I wish someone told me that, because that's very difficult. What else? Okay, as a female artist, I do have to say this. Obviously, there is this thing in the industry about females, you know, about how everything is very controlled by men and so forth. And I'm not gonna lie, it does exist, you know. I've been very fortunate not to have to deal with something like that directly. In this industry, it is, I wouldn't say a man-dominated industry, but unfortunately, a lot of the gatekeepers are men. And sometimes, if you are a woman, you know, they will expect certain things from you. So what I would say to any woman out there is, know your boundaries. Know what it is that you stand for. Know that, okay, I'm not willing to do this. You know what I mean? Know your worth. Because no one can stop you from getting to where you want to get to. You know what I mean? You don't need to devalue yourself to get to where you need to get to. Secondly, surround yourself with people, a team that will always protect you, protect your value, protect who you are. You know what I mean? For example, me, I'll never give out my number to people. I don't, you know what I mean? Because I am a woman in this industry. So small things like that are things that I've had to learn on my own. Like, okay, no, if I meet this guy, okay, don't give out my number. You know, I'd rather speak to my PA, you know, or speak to my manager, you know, before you can have direct contact to me, because the industry does have its little things, you know what I mean?
The shocks.
It's just little things, you know, you just need to protect, you just need to be sharp about those things, you know, just be sharp. So the best advice I've ever gotten, I wouldn't say it's the best, but it's what stands out to me on a daily basis, comes from my mom. I'm a very indecisive person. So she told me, in everything you do, decide and move. Don't think about it twice. Decide and move. You know what I mean? Because I always like to analyze things, and when I overanalyze, I end up not doing what I actually want to do, because I sit there thinking, what will the world think? What will they think if I do this? What will they think if I do this? They're gonna hate this, they're gonna hate this, if they whatever. I'm always like playing that in my mind. So when my mom told me that, I was like, you know what, anytime I want to do something, I want to shoot a video, I want to make a song, I want to release a song, I just say, okay, I'm releasing the song, decide, put it out. I don't even give myself time, you know, to think about it for more than like a couple of hours. If I decide it needs to come out tomorrow, I'm like, boom, let's go. Because otherwise I end up being my worst enemy. And I know a lot of us, we end up being our worst enemy when we do sit there and ponder and ponder and ponder, what if, what if, what if, what if. So if you're one of those people, all I can say is, once you've made a decision, just be like, boom. Don't even give yourself time. Just go with it. Just go with it. Yeah.
Advice coming through right there. Last thing, social media, getting in touch with you, bookings, the business stuff. How do people get in touch with you? You said you don't give out your number.
No, I don't.
So how do people actually get in touch with?
Okay, for social media, it's at Taylor Jaye World, and that's J as in Jaye, like Jaye. Jaye. So it's Taylor Jaye World. That's for Twitter, Instagram, even Facebook. It's facebook.com/Taylor Jaye World. Or you can catch me on my website. That's www.taylorjworld.com. All my information for bookings, the booking email, the booking contacts, everything is on my all my social media. There's also a contact form on my website, if that makes it easier for people. So I'm pretty reachable.
And the music availability?
Availability everywhere. You can find it on iTunes, Google Play, what is it? Spotify, Deezer.
Are you on Tidal?
Yes. Yeah. The new single, Kadzere, is still not on iTunes yet. Right now it's still for free. So right now the only way you can get it is on my website or on my social media. Until I put it out. Once I put it out onto iTunes and so forth, it will no longer be free.
Cool. Yes. Thank you so much. This has been an LOTv conversation with the lovely Taylor Jaye from Namibia, operating in South Africa and the world. She dropped some bars for us, guys. Like, if you didn't hear it, catch it properly, you need to rewind, go back about 5-10 minutes, see that. And she also dropped a lot of knowledge about the industry. If you're looking to be an artist, particularly for the ladies out there, she has some wise words. Go back, go see that stuff. Thank you so much to her for talking to us and for giving us this opportunity and giving us her time. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Shout out, make sure you check her out on social media. Taylor Jaye, that's TAYLORJAYE. That's
World.
it. Yes. LOTv, it's your boy MobbJustice.
Super chiquita, super chiquita, super chiquita.
Hey everyone, it's your girl Taylor Jaye.
Super mega star. Super chiquita, super chiquita. Wake up in the morning with my afro on fleek. Up my scruffy heels, up my legs so.
Hey everyone, it's your girl Taylor Jaye, and you're watching LOTv. Stay tuned.